Registered representatives offer securities through Securities America, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Financial advisors offer advisory services through Securities America Advisors, Inc. Forest Hills Financial, Inc. and Securities America are separate entities. This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steindler.
Good morning. Welcome to Keeping Your Money Show. Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Bart Steindler. Bart, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. It's another $1 million morning.
Indeed it is. For all the nerds out there, may the 4th be with you.
There you go.
If you don't watch Star Wars, you don't understand. But all of my fellow nerds are like, oh, yeah. This is the Keeping Your Money Show, where we cut through all the bulls, the booyahs, bells, whistles, honks, and horns to get you to the information that actually helps you move towards retirement. If you want to join in on the conversation, you can do it a number of different ways. You can always call us, of course. Our toll-free number is 888-98-MONEY. That's 888-986-6639. We don't take calls on the air, but someone does answer that phone 24 hours a day, so you're welcome to call in with your feedback, questions. Maybe there's something you want to hear us talk about. We are always looking to hear from you. You can also email us. The email address is info@keepingyourmoney.com, and either Bart or myself do respond to that. Do respond to that? Does respond to that?
We'll call you back.
We'll call you back.
Don't worry about it.
If you miss any part of the show, you can find it on our website. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com, or any of our podcast partners will have it as well. That's at iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. Just search for the Keeping Your Money Show. Got a great show on deck here for you this first weekend of May. We're going to talk about what should you do with your company pension when you retire. Many companies now offering lump sum benefits, spousal benefits. What exactly should you be doing with that? Also discuss investment news points out that half of Americans are approaching retirement with nothing saved. Even if you're not one of those people, how it can potentially really affect your retirement. How your retirement is going to be different from your parents. We'll discuss how taking advice sometimes from the older generation, not necessarily the best thing for you, because your life's going to be totally different. And Nate Boonster is going to join us to talk about adult children are costing many parents their ability to retire. All that and more right here on the Keeping Your Money Show. If you're not following us on Facebook, you should, because we'll tell you every week what we're going to discuss on the show and allow you to even correspond and comment on that as well. You can find that at Facebook. Just search for Keeping Your Money. And you'll also know any events or exciting announcements we have coming up or anything like that in regards to ourselves or any of our offices across Michigan. So definitely, if you're not following us on Facebook, you should. Bart, we're seeing more of this with pensions. When people retire, they're getting these options with their pension. And a lot of times, it's almost like with Social Security to a certain degree, where you kind of just automatically assume one thing, like, oh, I'm just going to claim at 62, or, oh, I'm definitely going to wait till full retirement age. But not necessarily a lot of thought has gone into that. And a lot of these can be a lot more complex than what they appear to be, whether it's a matter of, do you take a lump sum? Do you take a monthly distribution? Do you enact spousal benefits? Do you not have spousal benefits? How does it tie into the rest of your benefits, like your health insurance and things like that? So it really can be a very complicated thing that isn't maybe as clear of an answer as it appears to be the first time you look at it.
Here's one more thing to add to that list. How well financed is your pension?
Yeah, that's definitely something to consider. Whether you're public or private worker, understanding what the actual account that's going to provide that money to you can be very, very important to deciding what makes the most sense for you.
A lot of times, because a lot of pensions come from, I'm going to say, older industries that have been around a long time, and they probably were heavily unionized, and they've gone through a lot of closing plans, opening plans, merging with other companies and things like that. And some of these on the industrial side, not necessarily the public side, have been lumped together in a particular industry. Like it could be the old paper mill industry or the newspaper industry or transportation or
Teamsters type
anything,
things.
railroad and that
Yep.
type of thing. And it used to be, that these companies would be putting money every year into these pensions to finance them, but then they hit upon some bad years and they didn't do that. And then the companies got merged. And so some of these pensions are actually not very well funded. I mean, they can be as low as, 50, 60% funded. So if that is the case, eventually down the road, it's probably going to have a problem keeping up with the promises that they've made. So they tend to call that, haircuts.
Especially if
down the
they're
road.
underfunded after we've just had the market return that we've seen over the last decade plus.
Right.
I mean, if you're still looking at a 60% funded pension after the returns we've just experienced, what's it going to look like if there were to be a downturn in the near future? And especially a lot of industries too. Sometimes with pensions, we see retirement at younger ages. Many people, we work with a lot of workers, telecommunications workers, teachers that you can retire sometimes in their mid 50s. That's a lot longer of a time that you have to consider too, not only in how long you'll be drawing income, but how long you need the pension that's going to be paying that to remain fiscally viable, So the first question you have to ask is, do I take a monthly check or a lump sum payment? Now, the interesting thing about this is how often we hear people say, well, everyone's taking the lump sum, and that can be for a number of reasons. It can be because what we talked about, they're concerned about the viability of their company, but also it seems to be the number one recommendation from every financial advisor out there. And I would argue to a certain degree, some of the reasons that you may be receiving that recommendation is it tends to be a little bit better financially for the financial advisor if you roll it over too, I mean, so you need to make sure that you're really dissecting this information and not just assuming one thing or another. I remember a while back, a lot of the auto industry offered some of their current workers who were receiving a check the opportunity to change their mind and simply take a lump sum. Well, we ran the numbers, and the vast majority of them, there was zero benefit to them taking a lump sum. Now, of course, as a financial advisor, I would love to manage more money, but it was not in the client's best interest to do anything but to continue to take that monthly check, because the percentage that they would have had to withdraw from the lump sum would not been a number that realistically would have been viable long term. So it would have greatly affected their monthly income.
Right. And a lot of times the point you make that people in our industry will want those rollovers because it's a great source of revenue. But I had one that I was working on about 2-3 months ago, and I looked at it, and the person, got an opinion, and it was to roll it over. And I looked at it, I said, no, don't take your lump sum in the pension. The company is strong. They got the money to pay it, and I looked all over. I cannot find a financial product that's going to be able to give you that return guaranteed for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So you absolutely want to take that.
And there's so many factors that apply to that too. We see so often that people will come to us with the idea that if it's good for Steve, the guy I work with, to take the lump sum, it's good for me too. Mm-hmm. But there's so many intricate aspects of that. Do you have a family? Do you have a spouse? Are you single? Those are important factors. If you're single and you have heart disease, and your life expectancy maybe is quite a bit shorter than someone else because of your health problems, it may make sense to take the lump sum simply because of the amount of money you'll be able to leave to a beneficiary that you wouldn't be able to leave to them if you simply took a monthly income. So even though the percentage may not make sense for your particular situation, it may make sense. And I think that also applies to the next choice that you have to make, and that is, do you take it only on yourself as a monthly income? Do you take survivor benefit options? There's a lot of intricacies to that, especially like if you're a federal employee. If you work for the post office actually allows you to dial in the percentage of survivor option that you want. Many times your only option is, either full survivor, half survivor, or something like that. The post office actually allows you to determine the percentage. If you want to leave 12% survivor, you can do that. And you might say, well, why would I do that? Well, if you're leaving a survivor benefit, you're reducing your current amount. You may want to consider that there's life insurance you could buy at less than what they're going to charge you in reductions of benefits. Well, if you can buy a $500,000 life insurance policy that would provide your spouse the same benefit if you passed away early, it may be more beneficial for you to not provide survivor options. But again, survivor options may apply to benefits like health insurance and dental and all of that. And if it does, you have to consider that as well.
And then you have to consider the spouse, because if the spouse had an amazing career and has their own, has a very substantial amount of money that they save for their own retirement, that really lessens the need to have the spousal benefit. So, that plays into the decision-making process also.
When you've got to balance so many things in this, right? And I think sometimes we see people that get a kind of that single mindset of, well, I don't want to give up any of this money. Okay, well, if you're going to take any type of guarantees, like a monthly payment from your pension company, you're probably giving up some money potentially if you don't live long enough. If your main concern is not running out of money, then there may be other decisions to be made there. So I guess the biggest thing with this is really understanding that this is such a personal decision that it doesn't really matter what other people in your company have done. The other thing is, if you're going to take a lump sum, what are you going to actually do with the lump sum? I know it's great to be told you can have $900,000, but what are you going to do with the $900,000? Are you going to put that at risk in the market? Is the advisor you're going to potentially work with equipped and has experience in making sure that's going to generate income for you? The worst thing you can do, I think of people that retired in 2007 from a company that offered a lump sum pension. We've run into some of those people where a lot of that money is no longer there. They ran into a buzzsaw in the market and they found themselves in real big trouble where maybe there were better options for them that they just didn't explore.
Right, because pre-retirement investing and post-retirement investing is two different things.
Absolutely.
And with so many variables and so many things that you have to take into consideration, if you are not the type of person that knows all of these things and knows what to weigh pro and con, we get calls all the time. I got myself up to this point. Now I think I need advice. This is frequently one of those times when it's okay. Now I need an advisor. Now I need someone to kind of walk me through this. Now I need someone to help me develop a plan that's going to last me 25, 30 years so that I know I'm going to have enough income.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're facing this choice, if you have this option in front of you, maybe it's soon, maybe it's a year or two from now, you've gotten your pension estimate and you're like, boy, I really should start figuring out what I want to do. Don't think you have to wait till the last minute. It's a great time to sit down with an advisor and really start to plan out your course. We had a gentleman in just a few weeks ago. He's probably going to retire next year. We were able to do the analysis on it and help him start to make some decisions ahead of time of what he's going to want to do next year when he does retire. By all means, feel free to give us a call. 888-98-MONEY is the number, 888-986-6639. We'd love to sit down and help you come up with a plan and give you a free evaluation of what your situation looks like and let you know how we might be able to help you. All right, coming up, half of Americans are approaching retirement and they have nothing saved. We're going to talk about how that could impact you even if you do have things saved right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to planning your future. Jamie, Bart, and all of the advisors at the Keeping Your Money Show understand that your financial goals are unique and your needs are going to change at varying stages of your life. Our team of advisors can help you tailor a financial plan that meets your unique needs. Call us today at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to schedule your free initial consultation.